Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Rick and Lee in the Freedom System. And I apologize. I thought Lee was going to be back today, but he is not yet. So still traveling. So I was going to co-host with him so you wouldn't have to see me driving, but here we go. So why am I driving? And I will pull over so that I can do this show safely. I am driving because I'm going to stage a listing. And I have the listing signed, right? So I got a listing agreement, but they don't want to sell until June. I've been talking to these people since October, right? So they called me when I approached them in October, when I met with them in October for the very first time. They said, "Hey, we don't want to sell until June." I explored why. They said, "Well, we're doing new construction and the home's not going to be ready till June or July." And so I started letting them know, like, "Hey, it'd be nice to get pictures of the fall leaves. We can show the home through the seasons. I can get some snow pictures, some spring pictures. In fact, why don't we just go ahead and do the creative early? Why don't we just go ahead and we will showcase your home and get it ready for sale, right?" Well, so I walk into the home and the home is not ready to be sold. They've got grandparents living there, kids living there, multi generations. So I said, "Hey, listen, if we're going to do the creative early so that we can start some coming soon, according to clerical operations, do it within our brokerage because they don't want to sign in the yard. They're moving. So I said, why don't we do this? And this is a risk, a calculated risk. And if you can bankroll it, sometimes it's worth it. This happens to be $1.5 million listing that I want to win. So I'm going a little bold with it, right? So I said, hey, we're going to stage the home for one day. And they said, what? I said, yeah, I'm going to bring my consultant over, my staging consultant. We're going to do a prep list. There's some stuff you can do with the stuff you have. But then we're going to drive a trailer full of furniture and accessories up. If you can get the grandparents and the kids out for one day, we're going to stage your house, do the creative, and then tear down the staging. And then you can live in your house as is for the next 2 or 3 months. No problem. So that's what we're doing today. I'm driving up to Longmont. It's about 45 minutes away. We're going to stage the house. My professional stagers are coming in. So we'll stage the house. I've got my photographer, videographer, drone guy. Everybody's coming up. We're going to do all the creative work, 3D scan, floor plans, the whole nine of a clean, beautiful staged house. And then tomorrow, all their stuff's going to be, or even tonight, they're going to live in the house as is, right? I'm going to get all the creative done. We'll get the single property website done. We'll get the 6-page brochure done. They have signed off on the contract already, the clear cooperation guidelines and our company documents on pocket listings. They said, hey, try to market this within your own brokerage first. We do not want the world knowing about this. We understand it is a risk and we might get less for our home. So we're going to take that risk together. We're going to do kind of a quiet listing here for the next month or so. The advantage of that too is you can kind of beta test the price, right? I think the home's worth 1.4. They want to go in at 1.5. We're going to haggle on that a little bit, but ultimately, as much as we can make a recommendation, it is ultimately the client's decision. So, and I can tell them the risks, the benefits, and the downfalls of making the decision they're going to make. So we'll go to market it quietly, in-house, pocket listing, clear cooperation guidelines. We'll go in-house. We'll bump test that price, right? We'll showcase the creative to 72,000 agents and see what they think the home is worth and see if there's any interest. Now, if we do that for a little while and there is no interest, I have it written into our contract that at some point we are going to go coming soon on the MLS, at which point we start getting a little bit more interest, right? We start getting a little bit more excitement. I can now start marketing in other places because other brokers are aware that the home is for sale and I'm not keeping it quiet. So we'll do coming soon for a while and then we'll eventually go live. When we do go live, though, the way we're going to do it is not just come willy-nilly any day you want, because like I said, it's a multi-generation home. So when we do finally go live, we're going to open up a showing window a couple weeks in advance and let people know this is your showing window, plan for it, prep for it, because this is when you can get in. We're going to have one showing window this week. It's going to be 3 hours on Saturday, and that's when you can get in. Oh, by the way, your client is flying in from out of town, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, go drive the neighborhood, go look at the 3D tour, look at the floor plan, look at the model. It's pretty self-explanatory what this house is like. It's unavailable. If you'd like to get in, write an offer, provide a lender letter, and we will accept your offer or negotiate the offer contingent upon you actually touring the home and liking it as much as the model makes you think you will. But with VR glasses, you can buy a home remotely now, so kind of deal with it, right? So with 1 to 2 weeks of inventory on the market, you can kind of play a tight game like this. But the point being, I locked up this listing back, going aggressively out in October, November, December to showcase showcase for them what I was going to do for them. Let them know all of their privacy guidelines, all of their sort of living logistics problems, everything was going to be taken into account and considered. I snagged and got under contract and signed as a listing agreement, I should say. I got a listing agreement for $1.5 million. Now, I'm probably going to have to risk $4,000 or $5,000 on the front end, right? Because I'm staging the house, paying for all the creative. I'm not doing it myself. I'm hiring it out. I happen to be a semi-professional photographer, and I do take some listing photos for some of my stuff, but I'm not doing it on this one. I know it's going to be a difficult house to capture. I know it's going to be a difficult house to convey. And so I'm bringing in someone who does this 3 to 4 times a day because I don't. So we're going to get this house looking really sharp today. I'm pretty excited about it. Probably do some behind the scenes on our prep work for it. And we'll see how it goes. I think we're going to transform this sort of multi-generational house into $1.5 million desirable listing. And then it's going to go back to what it is right now, which is well lived in, but it's just not appealing to the masses. So anyway, that's where we are today. Because I'm driving and haven't been able to pull over, I am going to end this show a little bit sooner than normal. But drop some comments, drop some likes. Tell me what you think about a strategy of locking people down to commit to you because you've already done the creative, right? Now, let's say someone approaches them in March. We're in February right now. Someone approaches them in March and says, hey, your house is desirable. I would love to list your house. They're going to say, well, we actually already have all the pictures taken. We actually already have the drone work done. We actually have all of the marketing done. I feel like we kind of have to stay with this guy, right? Or gal. So get them to commit early. If they want to sell in 4 months, do your creative today. Put them under a listing agreement, lock them down, and then say, hey, you know what? Here's the advantage. Let's start touring for homes too, because the reason they don't want to sell, a lot of times, this is new construction, they have to wait for it to be done. But a lot of times they don't know where they're going to move, right? So if you don't know where you're going to buy, you're never going to sell. So you say, hey, let's get all your creative done. And I've used this one a lot, actually. Let's get all your creative done now. And let's just start casually touring. I know you don't want to buy. I know you're not ready, and I know it's not right. But there are so few homes on the market that when one comes up that's remotely appealing, let's just go see it. And that way, 4 months from now, when the right property does come up, you won't feel gun shy about pulling the trigger. And as far as being contingent, we just tell the listing agent, hey, we're going to flip a switch and turn it active because it's already built out in the MLS. The comps are already done and accurate. Marketing is already done. We literally flip a switch today on Friday, and we'll be under contract by Monday, and you won't have to worry about us being a contingent offer, right? And there are all sorts of other ways to avoid being contingent. You can become NOC certified like I am, and you can buy a home before you sell. All these other crazy things that have been introduced to the market to help people in a cash tight and inventory tight situation. So you can do all those things. But one way you can do it is just say, hey, let's lock down the creative because you lock down the client to you. And then let's just start casually shopping. And while we're casually shopping, if something comes up, then we just pull the trigger, flip a switch, and your home's for sale, right? And now we know you're not going to be homeless. You don't want to be homeless, do you? No, of course not. So let's do the right thing. Let's do the creative next week. I'm going to help you get it staged. I'm going to give you guidelines. And you know what? The great thing is you get to prep for creative once, and you can go back to living for the next 3 or 4 months. You don't have to worry about showing your home every weekend because I'm not going to do that to you, right? You don't have to live in a staged house worried about leaving a pencil on the table because it might affect somebody's view of your home. You can just go back to living comfortably. You like living comfortably, don't you? Yeah. And nobody likes the stress of people running through their house, do they? No. So let's avoid that stress. Let's live comfortably, and let's do the right thing. Let's do the creative this coming week, and then I'll start working on it. You're going to be amazed by how good your house looks in these pictures and these images. The video is going to blow you away. You're going to share your 3D model with everybody because this is so cool. And then we'll just casually, as you see fit, as you have openings, if there's a ski day where you were going to go up but there's no snow, we'll just go tour a home, right? And maybe you find something, maybe you don't. But then you do it on your timetable and not at the timetable of the market. Does that sound good? They're going to be like, absolutely. Okay, great. Sign here. And then you sign them up, and now you've got a client committed to you, and you lock up that listing. Because otherwise, if you don't lock up that listing with you and get them to commit to you, guess what? 2 months from now, they're going to say, oh, let's wait 60 days. In 60 days, they're going to go out, they're going to find a home they like, and they're going to list with where they're going to list their home with the listing agent on the home they just did an open house with, and you're going to lose out. And all the time and energy you just spent consulting with them, caring for them, investing in them, all that time and energy is going to be wasted. You knew there was a willing and able seller on the market, and you let them go because you didn't lock them down. So lock them down. Do the right thing. All right. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.